Alright, so now that you have your new set-inch template with layers, we want to go ahead and choose Save As, and we're going to save that drawing as layers / your initials, whatever those happen to be, .dwg. So let's make sure that we've got our set-inch. You should have these layers up here now, okay? And we're going to go to Save As. Save As. We're going to make sure that we pick a DWG down here in the bottom, DWG drawing, and we're going to call this layers dash and then whatever your initials happen to be, and then go ahead and click save. Make sure that that's obviously in a folder that you can access. So I'm going to actually put mine in a different folder. So now that you've got it saved, what we're going to do today is draw this part. So from over here, looking straight through this hole, we're going to call that our front. Over here, looking this way, is going to be our right side, and then from the top of the page looking down is going to be the top. So you might want to go online. This entire presentation is available in a PDF format, all the slides, and you can go directly to this page and just download this particular, or excuse me, print out just this particular page so you can go back and reference it. That's a great idea. It's also available in the assignment, just this particular sheet, so that you can print this one out. So what we're going to do first is kind of draw in the front view. So if we look at this piece from the front, the overall width and height is going to be 3 wide by 2 tall. So we're going to go ahead and start with a rectangle that's 3 wide by 2 tall. Now we're going to put this in our visible layer. So now we're in CAD. We want to change and make our visible layer the current layer. And we're going to go ahead and draw a rectangle. Now it can be 4 lines, or you can use the rectangle command. I'm going to use the rectangle command and pick my first corner point. It really doesn't matter where I draw in this view, makes no difference. And then it's asking me for my second corner point. So what I'm going to do is use relative coordinates. I'm going to type in at. I need to go over 3, comma, and up 2. Enter. So now I have a rectangle that's 3 wide by 2 tall. I'm going to go ahead and zoom into that. So now we kind of got it front and center there. So the next thing I need to do when looking at that front view, I can put in the circle as well as those 2 lines. So I know I'm going to do the circle first. Its radius is 0.25 and it's located halfway left to right and then up a ½ inch. So there's lots of different ways to do this. I'm going to go ahead and put my circle here at the midpoint of this left to right and then come back in a second and move it up. So I'm going to do C for circle, and you'll notice I don't have my O snaps turned on, so I need to turn those on down here in my status bar. Push F3, and I need to make sure that my midpoint O snap is activated. So I'm going to go ahead and it's there because I'm seeing the object snap marker. I'm going to go ahead and click for that to be my center point. Then my radius, and notice in the question down there at the command line it says specify radius of circle. So my radius is 0.25, so I'm going to type that in and click enter. So now I have a circle whose radius is 0.25. So I'm going to take that and now I'm going to move it up 0.5. So I'm going to click M for move, and I need to go up 0.25. So it doesn't really matter where I choose for my displacement point. I'm going to click. Now if I need to go up 0.25, I can use again relative coordinates at 0, comma, 0.25. Enter. So that moved it up 0.25. I didn't move it up quite far enough. I was supposed to move it up 0.5, so I need to move it up one more time, another 0.25. So there we go. It's now moved up 0.25. So now I need to put in these horizontal lines here and over here. So you can see this distance is up 1.1. This is how far I need to go up. So the easiest way to do that is to draw a line on top of a line. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do L enter for line. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to show you something that's a little bit different than using just relative coordinates. You'll notice down in my status bar, I want you to go ahead and turn on this thing called ortho. And what ortho does is it locks us to 0, 90, 180, 270 degrees. And it allows us to kind of cheat a little bit. If you have ortho activated and you've started your command, so in this example I've started line and I clicked my first point on the line, I can get my mouse going in the direction that I want to go because I have the ortho turned on. Then I can just type in the distance that I want it to go. So I've got, my first click was down here in the bottom left hand corner. I've moved my mouse up, my ortho is turned on, and you can see it there, it says ortho, and I'm going to type in 1.1, enter. So now you'll see that that line is now has an endpoint right there. That's my up 1.1. Now I need to go over 1. So I've got my ortho still turned on. I'm going to move my mouse to the right, type in 1, enter. So now you'll see that I have a line right there that's up 1.1 and whose width is 1. Now one thing that is a little bit interesting is I have two lines on top of each other. I have this line right here, and then I also have the taller line that's too tall. So what I need to do is to select just that line by drawing a blue box just like that and clicking delete. So now I don't have a line on top of a line anymore. So there we go, there's one line. Now I need to come back and figure out how to get this line over here. Now I can do the same process and draw a line up 1.1 and to the left 1, or I could just mirror. So what I'm going to do is use the mirror command located up here on the Home tab, Modify Toolbar panel. I'm going to choose mirror. I want to mirror this line right here. Enter to get to the next step. Now I have to choose that imaginary mirror line. Well, this in this case is the midpoint, from midpoint to midpoint. So there's my imaginary mirror line. And I do not want to erase my source objects, so N for no. There we go. So now you've kind of got that front view started. It's not completely finished because we don't exactly know where this piece is yet. And the reason that we don't know that is because of this 15 degrees up here. This piece right here is going to come back into our front view a little bit later on. So we've got our front view. The next thing that I want you to do is just double check your O-snaps one more time to make sure that you have those particular O-snaps activated, because we're going to need access to those here in a little bit. Endpoint, midpoint, center, quadrant, intersection, perpendicular, and extension. Just make sure that all of those O-snaps are activated. And remember to look at your O-snap activations. You can click right here. So make sure that you've got those activated. That way we can get started with the next step. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video, and before we get started with our right side view, that'll be in the next video. Okay?